Hey everyone!
Hey, hey.
Oh,
That
we
was
went backwards
reversed.
again. Didn't we do that last week?
Yeah, we did.
Oh gosh, we
I
got
was
to get
waiting
it
to see if
together.
you would do it.
Okay, go ahead again.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, hey, and welcome to After Hours here at Linda's Electric Quilters.
We are so excited for you to join us tonight. Corey has a really unique, fun, easy technique to show you to do some of that fill-in work, right?
Definitely. When we asked for requests from our last Q&A,
Yeah.
one of the ones that we got multiple times was how to do background quilting behind different designs, either on a panel or on a quilt, but using a pantograph,
Pantograph, yeah.
as opposed to doing
Freehand.
it freehand from the front of the machine. So I'd like to show you my technique. It's just the way that I do it. Doesn't mean it's the only way that it is to be done. So let's
Exactly.
just preface that now. But it's the way that I like to do it so I can take advantage of doing background quilting with a pantograph whenever I need to do it.
Exactly. So, hey, everyone, let us know that you're here. Tell us where you're from. Yeah, so before we get started, what do we do?
As always, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. If you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be right down at the bottom right-hand corner. After you click on that subscribe button, make sure you click on the little bell that shows up so you can get notified whenever we go live here at LEQ. If you're watching us on Facebook, make sure you give our page a big thumbs up and a follow.
There you go. I can do thumbs up. I just can't do down.
You don't want a thumbs down.
I know, that's true.
Your poor thumb.
My arm, my hand. Have any of you guys had that, like where it's just, I'm not sure if it's carpal tunnel or what it is, but it's extremely painful in your thumb, right? So I just need hints tonight. Like, give me some tips if you've had the sore thumb into the wrist issue. Well, I'm not sure what we'll call it, and what you did to help make it feel better besides a brace. I just started wearing this like 30 minutes ago, and it's already feeling a little bit better.
Looking like Iron Woman.
Iron Woman.
Awesome. That sounds great.
Exactly. And while you're watching Corey, I had a quick question I wanted to ask our lovely audience. So for everybody that, when we asked those questions a couple weeks ago, we asked you to put some things that you wanted us to carry, and one of them that came up a lot was Orfill.
Orfill, yeah.
So my question to you now is, do you prefer the cones or do you prefer the little small spools? Are you using Orfill more for sewing and piecing or for quilting? Just so I kind of know
that's a
which,
good question.
because I am going to order it for you guys. We're going to have good pricing. We're going to order it, but I just need to know like what you guys want.
Yeah. Do you want the big cones or the little tiny spools for your machine?
Yeah, and do you use the neutral colors a lot or just any color? Do you just pick the color that works?
That's a good question.
Yeah, just trying to figure it out.
I'm assuming the smaller spools because a lot of people use them on their sewing machines.
Piecing,
for
yeah.
piecing.
Well, that's what I was
So
thinking
I'm
too.
assuming.
But then I'm thinking, how many people actually use them for
quilting, you never know.
So yeah, anyway, put that in the feed so I can go back and look at that later.
Okay, awesome.
All right, let's jump over and look at what you're doing.
Okay, we're gonna head back to the machine right now. And so right now I've got a cute panel on here. There's a little Mario and Luigi one. And I want to do some background quilting with a pantograph behind in kind of this negative space. Right here, I'm going to be using one of our most popular pantographs, and you'll see it in a second, which is the Stars and Loops pantograph. If you know anything about Mario, it's very big on the superstar, and so we want to do stars and loops in the background to kind of work with that same theme. Another thing that I'm also doing is I'm doing a color that almost blends into this, almost the exact same color of the background, because you don't really want your background quilting to be the main big thing that's being seen. You want it to fall back into that negative space and just kind of float back there, and that it's kind of like the internet, just float the cloud. Just kind of let it float out there in the back in the clouds. So Mom's got the camera set up for me, which is great. So back here on the machine, oh, you're gonna make me walk in front of the camera stand? Oh my goodness, folks, excuse me, sorry.
Sorry, I forgot about that part.
Okay, that's okay. So back here on the machine, I have the Stars and Loops pantograph. This one is available on our website. It's pattern number 1, the original one. The OG of all OGs. And I've got the pantograph set up. I have a nice plastic sheet over my pantograph here. This is something you could find on Amazon or maybe a couple of different places. And it's just a nice sheet that I can write on and then use with a dry erase marker and then use a piece of batting or an eraser to erase off, because with the technique that we're doing, you're going to want to be able to draw, but you don't want to draw probably right on your pantograph because you're going to reuse it again for other things. So what I have done is I've set up the pantograph the way that I want it. I have my edges, so that is the left side of the quilt from the front and then the right side from the front. I've got those marked away with my dry erase marker, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a closer view, so I'm going to move you real quick. So we can come down with it. There we go. Just like that. That's perfect. And Mom, if you want to show them the front of the machine.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm making her use technology. Perfect. That's great. You're good.
Okay.
Okay. So front of the machine, you can see that what we're starting with on our first row that we really want to avoid is Luigi's hat right here, and then maybe part of his foot a little bit further down from the camera angle. But we're really looking at avoiding his hat right there. So the best method that I have found for me to do what I need to do is kind of start to set out where I'm gonna watch for his hat. So I'm gonna start right about there, and if we flip around to the back of the machine, here we go, you can see that I've got my laser light where I need to go. So I was a little low on the hat. I was about up here, and that's out of the row, so I don't have to worry about that right now. I'm only focusing on the row that I'm working with, which is going to start about, that's where I'm getting into the row. So what I like to do is I take my dry erase marker and I begin to make little dashes as I move around the piece. So I'll do a few here, and then Mom will switch you up to the front so you can kind of get the idea what I'm doing. But I'm just making little dashes as I'm going. So then she'll take you up to the front so you can kind of see. And I'm just kind of looking over the long arm, moving it around, and making myself some little tiny hash marks of where I want to skip. So you'll just work around where you want to go.
And I would say that if you're not concerned about feeding right into the item, you could do a larger, wouldn't have to do as many marks, you just scale out a little bit, right?
Oh, no question. Yeah.
This is just if you really want to feed right into the actual picture.
I just want to give you exactly the fine-tuned things, and then you can break away and do other things from there.
Yep.
All right, Mom, you can come back to the back again. Oh, she's already there. All right, she's on top of things. Mm-hmm. So I'm just making little dots here and there where I want to skip around. Biggest thing is just kind of go through your entire row at one point to figure out where you need to go. And I think that's going to be the rest of his hat. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the majority of his hat. So I'll just connect these dots with my expo marker. Yeah. Just like that.
It's kind of like a manual trim.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And then just kind of mark away what I don't want to stitch on. So now that I have that initial drawing completed, I want to look through my Pantograph and see how I'm going to be stitching this. So we're coming here from the right because you're going to do your pantographs from right to left. You're following out this direction. Here's your loop, and then we're going to get to the point where it's his hat at this point. So I'm going to give myself a pathway to go onto the next section. So this is where I'm coming. I'm going to hit his hat. So instead of going through and finishing out the loop, I'm just going to curve around to the next piece. So we've got that one there, following the loop, and then it hits the hat, and it's going to go underneath for a little bit. So this would be my stopping point because it's underneath the hat for a little bit of time. So I've got a stopping point right here, and that's where I would tie off and jump to the next section. So I would then find where I need to go. I'd find my star. So we'll say we're going to start right here on our star. Go this direction, come out. Now this star hops into this next loop over here. So from this point, we can just kind of make our own little pathway to then go into the loop.
Would you go into the black first instead of the red so it's an easier curve on the star?
Sure. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you could.
Just because of what you're doing there.
You could, either way. I mean,
that's what's fun. You can just wipe it right off.
Yeah, either way. Whatever way you want to go. No big deal. Let's do my start there. So then I can just kind of travel around. And what you're doing is you're just finding your next best path to get to where you need to get to, all the way through this section. So once we have that set up, then we can start quilting.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna do the hat right now, and then when we get down to the boot, we'll look at it one more time, just so we have that idea.
Alrighty.
So I am going to come over to my starting position, and I'm gonna pull up my thread. Oh, y'all get to see me do a pantograph too. Oof. All right, so I'll pull up my thread. I've got this on 12 stitches per inch. That's what I like to do my edge-to-edge quilting with. And if you want to do something else, feel free. Just like that. Okay, here we go. The thing on pantographs when you're working on them is if you have points in it, just tell yourself point, point, and it gives you a little moment to pause. The best thing about a pantograph is you don't have to follow directly on the line. Point, point, point. Just to give yourself your little natural flow.
So while Corey's stitching that, I'm going to see if there's any questions as he's starting to do that. So Landa, we do not have this panel. This is something Corey got a long time ago. Oh, lots of things about it. The thumb joint could be deteriorating, yeah. Hopefully I don't have to have surgery, but I might have to. And I haven't done any knitting or crocheting, just been working. I think I'm just working it to death. Small spools, lovely. Thanks for all the answers. We appreciate this.
Oh, it's so cute.
All right, let me go back to the front. I was just answering the questions while you were going.
He's so cute.
Looking good.
You see him?
Yeah.
So we created, oh, can we see this?
Kind of. I'll switch.
That's good. Do you want to pull the camera,
Oh,
I guess, to the other side?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. So as we got close to the hat, I just created that little additional loop to the side there, and then we came around and stopped right here. So I'm going to tie off just a couple of tie-offs there, and then I will pick up my thread.
Oh yeah, so you can go to your next starting point.
Correct. So I picked up my thread, and then I'm going to move over to my star. I'm just going to jump and trim all these threads later.
That's
Not
good
worried
idea.
about it right now. Not in the least bit worried about it right now. So I'm doing a couple of tie-offs to get started. And then here we go. So we're off to starting off with our star. Coming up here, we're going to create our own little loop. And then we're off to it.
And you'll notice he's not staying perfectly on the line. You don't have to. These patterns are really just a guide for you to help you make your own design. If you try to stay like perfect on the pattern, you'll kind of just stress yourself out in your neck and your arms. So just kind of loosen up. Think of it like you're driving a car. You're just looking ahead. Just look ahead on that line. It's just a guideline.
Boom. Oh, it's turning out so good. It's looking so good.
Yeah, it's looking good. And you can see where you've missed the hat, so you can go back and do stuff in that later. So that looks good.
Yeah, we're going to get to kind of decorating this a little bit later. It's going to be a lot of fun. You want to give it a try, Mom?
Oh, no, I'm good. It's hard for me to move my hand
Oh,
right
that's
now.
right, that's right,
So-
that's right. All right, well, I'm going to keep on going.
So Randy, that's a good question. Whether you use cruise or precision when stitching. What do you cruise or precision when stitching? You use the cruise method when stitching, or precision?
You could use a cruise method. I don't have cruise turned on right now, but
Okay.
you can use cruise. Or for some machines, it's called coast regulate.
Yeah.
Just when you get to the points, the needle keeps moving a little bit just to keep them nice and pointy and sharp.
Okay.
But yeah, you definitely could do that.
Okay.
Not a problem whatsoever. Have a feeling I'm going to be close to the boot here, but I think I'm going to make it. So I just kind of slowed and kind of checked where I was going. Oh, that was right on the tip there. Perfect. Went right around it without a problem. Look how cute.
Well, there you go.
All right, we're almost done with this row. There we go.
And then right out there on your stop mark.
I forgot how much I liked doing pantographs. It's really fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I remember when I used to teach the class, it was lots of fun just back here moving the machine.
Yeah, it's just easy.
Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty, so you're going to advance?
Sure. Yeah. Give me just a second. Where are we at camera-wise? I don't want to make anybody dizzy.
We're on the front.
Okay. Cool. All right, give me just a second. Let me...
While you're
Pull
advancing,
up.
we do have a few questions, though, if you want to
Okay.
answer questions. Or
Sure. I can answer. Yeah, go ahead.
Lori says, off topic, but can you talk a little bit about tension adjustments on a double back quilt? So if you're using double batting, is there any kind of tension adjustment tips that you could possibly give her?
Not really when it comes to double batting, because normally when you do double batting, it actually makes your stitching look better.
So Lori, what type of thread
so-
are you using? Just curiosity, because that might help too, right? Maybe it's just to check tensions to make sure it's not too tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what type of thread are you using? And then do you always baste a strip of the edges for everything?
I always base the edges when I'm doing a pantograph pattern.
Yeah, to keep it in check. Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Keep the questions coming. We'll do them in between time. Corey's resetting up so he can show you how to advance.
Oh, I'm doing the advance right now. Did you want me to show that?
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to show it.
Okay. So let me...
On the front or back?
You can do the back.
Okay.
Yeah, the back's good. Okay. So now that the row is done, I've taken my machine and I've placed it on one of the little red dots. Let me cover that. There we go. One of the little red dots that appears on the majority of our pantograph patterns. So I'm going to place it at that top one that says top of pattern. And I've rolled my needle down into the quilt, and I will now slowly advance my quilt, and that red dot for my laser is going to travel to meet this one right here, and that's how I know I've got great spacing. So I'm going to slowly advance it, because remember, the needle is in the fabric. You don't want to go crazy.
And while it's advancing, you can watch the laser light going down. That's what I love. Our patterns have that on the top of pattern. You know, the top of next row. It just really helps know where you need to be next.
Exactly. Yeah.
And most of them have that, so it's cool.
So you can see that I've gone a little bit. Let me zoom in so you can see. I've gone a little bit further than the actual red dot on the printed fabric, or on the printed pattern. Reason being is because you're going to have to tighten up your backing again, and it's going to pull your machine back the opposite direction. So always go a little bit further than the dot itself. That way when you tighten up, then everything hits back in alignment. So you'll see, once I tighten up, we're right in alignment where we need to be.
Okay.
So you can smooth any wrinkles out on the front of the quilt that you have, which we always know those happen. Bring your needle up, and then we get to kind of check around and see where we need to do our dry erase marker. And of course I can erase all the stuff that I've got on here. Got the needle all the way up. Okay, perfect. So I'll erase all of this because I don't need this anymore. Boom. Perfect.
Yeah, and you don't have to do the whole row. We just kind of give them an idea how to advance and then how you would do a little bit more.
Yeah. So the next row is a little bit more intense.
Yeah.
I
know, I was looking over it. I'm like, ah, okay.
It's a little bit more intense. So you're kind of really checking this. Now, what a bonus here is if you have someone in the room with you to help you, then it can be a lot of fun. So if you have someone that can help you in the room, they can follow from the front, and if you follow on the back, you can draw out with the laser. So Mom and I are going to have a little team building activity here.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So you're going to start right here?
Yeah, I do. I know.
Okay, and you're just going to travel.
Yep.
You can skip right that, though. You can just skip there.
Yeah.
So you're just going to...
Ready?
I'm ready. Ooh, I lost you. I'm going backwards of it. The laser light's in my way. Oh, this is a fun team building activity. It's more or less just to give you the idea. Are you playing with me?
No, I'm doing it right.
Okay.
Am I playing with you? No, I'm going.
Oh, you're doing the leaf.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah. You don't want to see this on the back. You know what? I'm going to let myself do this.
I was doing it good.
You were doing wonderful. I was not.
Let's try it over.
Okay.
We're
It's
live.
because I'm running into the laser light. That's why. It's because I'm live.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
So it's like
that's right.
I'm seeing what I'm doing. Okay, go ahead. I got you. Go.
Where we're at?
Yeah, right
Okay.
there.
That should give you a good start.
No.
Okay.
Look at this. It looks like a kindergartner did it.
Let me-
That kindergartner might have done better than this. Honestly, look at this.
That's not bad.
Mom, stop lying. I am no longer a child anymore. You don't have to keep my spirits that high. You can tell me when it's not right. It's not right.
It's pretty close.
There went the team building activity.
Yeah.
There went the team building activity,
we like
folks.
To just try stuff.
We tried. We tried to do the team building. So I'm just gonna do my dots.
There you go.
My
Just do
dots
your
worked.
dots.
My dots worked out. But you get the idea, folks. It's really just having some type of protector down here that you can draw on. You can do a piece of plexiglass. You can do a plastic sheet. Whatever you need to do.
They're noticing your socks and you quilt in your socks. I'm like, yep, Corey quilts in his
Oh
socks.
yeah, I don't wear my shoes when I quilt. I don't know why. I don't. I just don't. All right, that should be enough to get us what we need.
I have to wear shoes with arch supports and all kinds of stuff, so it doesn't. But he's got flat feet and he just loves to be in his socks when he quilts.
Well, probably back here I would move my mat. My grandma, love grandma. My grandma got me this super amazing anti-fatigue mat. It's called a Hog Heaven mat from American Floor Mats, and it is amazing. It's 3 feet by 12 feet, so it spans the whole width of the table. And so it's really, really good for doing stuff like that. There we go.
That's
that works.
good. Let's just show them that section.
That gives us the idea. All right, so same thing. Kind of X out what you're not doing so you don't get confused. But you're going to find your starting point for your star. So for this one, we're going to have to probably start right here. No, we don't. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. All right, we're going to start right here. So you can give yourself a starting point. You're going to travel this way. You're going to go this way with your star, travel down the side of the quilt, and then back, and you'll begin to cross over. So from here, we can kind of create our own loop. Instead of falling directly with the leaf, we could come from here and then kind of create our own loop to there. And then you can loop to this section, loop to this section, loop to this section. I wouldn't worry about getting to this point of the star at all. I think that's going to be too much worry for you. And even this section of the star, when you're coming up, I would just take this and make another loop here.
And create your own little pattern there.
And then create your own at that point.
Yeah.
I think trying to go back and forth between all those would get a little too confusing.
So on any pattern you have, you could just adapt it to make it easier.
Oh, no question.
Especially when you're doing background.
Yeah,
like this.
no question. So you're just kind of finding your space wherever you want to. stitch stuff out.
Okay.
Different color expo markers might help as well.
That's true. Very true.
So you're going to get to your starting spot, which is going to be right here. And we're going to pull up our thread.
It says you're brave walking around in socks. They'd be afraid of stepping on too many pins.
Oh, I've done it many, many times. Not saying, you know, they all know the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Yeah, I expect a different result every time. All right, so here we go. We're going to start from this section, traveling down with our star. Remembering to pause in our points just to take a quick breather. Down the side. Here we're going to create our own little loop. Here we're creating our own little loop as well. We'll keep on going. And we're going to pause right there because I didn't map out the rest of the thingy.
Alrighty.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, you definitely gave a really good ideas and how to do it. And
That's so precious.
Yep.
Look at that.
I will zoom in a little bit
Okay.
and show them a little bit better close up. Let me see. Move this out. Oops. The needle's down, so I guess I won't be doing that.
Oh, you can just tap the pickup button
Okay.
on the screen.
Oh. There we go.
There you go.
Push it out of the way so you can see a little bit closer of that. To show you how just going around and filling in, and you don't have to worry about do freehand, just using patterns helps. Yeah, I can't show you the other end because he's
have it
under
blocked.
the needle. He's covered up already. But it gives you an idea. Anyway.
It gives the idea. That's what we're all about, is the idea, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. What I wanted to show earlier was when you were showing that one pattern, the way we sell our patterns, because we still get this question all the time, is we sell them we plot them and print them here, so you get all three sizes. So where he was using like this size right there, if you were to order any of our patterns, you're going to get whatever size those come with, and they're listed on the website.
Yeah, they're listed in the description.
In the description, it tells you like, okay, this is size 7 or 8 or 5, 7, 9, or you know, that you get all those sizes for that great price.
And I think that also brings up a good topic. It's what size do I use for what thing?
Yeah, that's true.
I went with a smaller design for this because this panel piece was so tiny. I wanted to kind of really show that background quilting. Even though it was kind of falling into the background, I used the same color thread. I still wanted it to be seen a little bit, so I wanted to go a little bit denser on the pattern so it could be seen. If you went with a 10 or 12 inch, that's what, 2 rows of it maybe?
Yeah.
And then it's just going to look like more loops than anything. You won't even see the cute stars.
You want to see the cute stars.
You won't see my starfish.
It just depends on the pattern you're
Yeah,
using.
all depends on the pattern.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So another thing I wanted to point out for this month is Customer Appreciation Month here at Linda's Electric Quilters. We just want to let you know how much we appreciate our customers, how much we appreciate you watching us, shopping with us, being with us on our journey all these years. I know a lot of you have been watching us from the beginning, and some of you guys are new. We're welcome, and then thanks for coming back. You know, all those good things. So you know, jump on over to the website. There's going to be free shipping all month long, excluding the rolls of batting, but everything else has free shipping, whether it's 1 item or 20 items. So we just wanted to say how appreciative we are of you, give you time to shop, not rush you through a sale on that free shipping.
Right.
Because we really do appreciate you.
Yeah. And to always stay up to date with everything going on here at Linda's Electric Quilters, outside of what we do here at After Hours, on our website there is a newsletter section, main page, probably about halfway down. You can sign up for our newsletter. No obligation required in that. You don't have to pay for it. And it just gets sent to your inbox, and you get to know firsthand what's happening and when you get the specials and everything.
Yeah, and if there's special coupons that come up, they go through the newsletter. So you definitely want to be on that newsletter.
For sure.
So, all righty. Well, I think that was super fun.
I liked it. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
I wish you would have been able to do it.
I just didn't even want to try to grip.
Is your thumb really hurting? She just didn't want to quilt tonight. That's what it is. Is your thumb really even
It's
hurting?
really hurting.
You sure about that?
Yes, it's really hurting. I promise.
She's smiling through her teeth. She wants to smack me. I can see it. She's like, you know it's hurting. I love you, Mom.
I love you too.
Alrighty, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us here at After Hours, and we will see you next time.